You're listening to the Tony Conley Morning Show on more compelling talk radio, 1320 WILS, and worldwide via the internet at 1320WILS.com. Let's go out to the McLaren Health Plan phone line and talk with Barbara Van Poole, who is a real estate expert. Barbara, how are you?
I'm doing great this morning. Thank you.
There's a story out nationally. Home ownership is 45% cheaper than renting. Tell us about this story.
Well, actually, the 45% is the national average. In your area, it's actually 60% less expensive to own a home than it is to rent. Now, of course, that's dependent on several factors. It's the median property value for your area. It's also figured at a 3.5% mortgage rate, and where you're itemizing deductions at a 25% federal tax bracket.
What caused this?
Well, what we are seeing is that rental rates are going up, and we're also seeing that property values are actually making a turn, and they are starting to head back up nationally as well. And we have been teetering back and forth between a buyer's market and a seller's market the last few months, and nationally, 2 months ago, we actually made that leap from being a buyer's market into a seller's market. And with housing prices starting back up, that means that if you've been waiting for the bottom of the market, we've been there, we're past it, it's starting back up. It's time to make that leap if you've been waiting to buy property.
So that's a good thing, isn't it?
It's a very good thing, a very good thing. And also, when you are renting versus owning, you are basically making somebody else's mortgage payment, and you're building their wealth and equity versus making your own mortgage payment and building your own wealth and equity.
So now that we're seeing a climb in values, how long do you think it'll take for us to get back to where we were before we had the crash?
Well, and I think this is dependent on the area that you're in, because there are some areas like Dallas, Texas, that didn't see those rapid increases in property values, and hence when the property values went down, they took a dip, but not as big a dip as some of the other areas that had seen great big huge increases in value and hence took a bigger dip. So I think it's very specific for the area that you're in, and then property values not only go by metropolitan area, they go neighborhood by neighborhood. So your best bet is to find a good professional in your area and talk to a reputable realtor about your specific situation.
You know, there are a lot of people, Barbara, whose credit went down the tubes when we had this big challenge with the real estate market. But I think what you're saying is that you need to do whatever you need to do to own as opposed to rent.
Well, it certainly makes sense for most people, and you definitely have to evaluate your own situation. But for your area, that break-even point is 2 years. So if you are going to be in a property for over 2 years, it definitely makes sense to be purchasing that property instead of just renting that property.
All right, Barbara Van Poole is a real estate expert. Barbara, we appreciate your time so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony.
It's the Tony Conley Morning Show and more compelling talk radio, 1320 WILS. Good morning to you.